The dragon. Then I don't know if you saw that, Sean. There was a dragon. Um,
Well, dragons are dragons.
Dragons are dragons. How is Sean? How is the Canada? How is life over there?
It is melting, at
Oh,
least
that's good.
partially. So I say melting, knowing that this is really spring 0.96. It isn't really
Yeah.
uh, also known as first fall spring. So it will get better and it will get worse. It just really
The
depends on.
temperature, yeah, the temperature here this week has been really nice. I would actually say t-shirt weather.
Oh no, no. Well, in my office it was t-shirt weather today. It made it all the way up to like 23. I was starting to think, maybe I need to take a shirt off or something, and it's probably not appropriate for the office, but
Yeah.
it's getting warm.
Yeah.
What can I say?
So in the hypnosis world this week, Brian Bay has had his operation and is on the mend.
Yeah, he sent out, unless he pre-scheduled the sends, he did send out a photo, the before and after.
Mm.
And yeah, as far as I understand, he was ousted from the hospital because he was on the mend. So
That is good.
um,
So I
he's
spoke to him when he was
recovering.
midway home.
I know because my dad has spent a significant amount of time in the last few years in and out of hospitals and whatnot for surgeries. Recovering at home is far superior to hanging around doing nothing in a hospital. So
Yeah, absolutely. I was worried he might lose his voice, but unfortunately not. He's still got it. Bless. And he seems in good spirits as well. He sent a couple of memes that are quite funny.
yep, no, he hasn't. If he hasn't lost that and he can still talk, I guess we'll still let him co-host.
Absolutely. Um, Hypnosis Hero.
Yep, coming up next week, right?
Yeah, who have you got
We're
on?
in an off week right now. So next week, of course, we have the amazing Jesse Lewis joining us on the podcast. Jesse, of course, is a Saskatchewan boy, just like me. So undoubtedly, we'll talk in Celsius and centigrade, and Brian will just have to figure it out.
Yes. I must admit, I love Jesse's marketing. Yeah, I like everything he's doing at the moment.
Yeah,
He's got it spot on.
he's really stepped up marketing online. I see him everywhere on every channel, with uh, rotating ads. Not necessarily that they're so totally different, but they're variations. They're
Mm,
they're they're customized to the particular channel and on a different schedule, which really is what you want to see because that gives you a lot of extra reach.
yeah, and it gives you great data as well. So you get to see which videos perform better
Yeah.
and different formats. So yeah, really good. So it might be worth staying up late for that one.
Oh yeah, you know what, Jesse has always and Jesse more so than a lot of people is very much a straight shooter when it comes to how he presents his shows and how he presents in general. Because I mean, if you've ever sat in on any of his podcasts or any of his presentations,
Mm,
he's like lockstep. This is the way it works. I know it works this way because I've worked it this way.
yep.
He's not just flash in the pan. Do this because AI said so. He's actually worked the process.
I remember doing a talk last year, maybe the year before, about AI, and I'm surprised I've not seen more of it everywhere. Now it's everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, like you said about Jesse, there's no overinflated ego. His stuff is spot on and it works. And like you said, he knows it works because he's done it.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what you want. I mean, if you're going to learn from somebody, and you mentioned staying up late for this one, if you're going to learn from anybody, this is one of those people that you should be learning from.
Yeah, absolutely. Go through some stuff at PHS. Oh, just pressed the wrong button there on my screen, so we'll pop that there.
There
PHS,
we go.
yeah. Speaker submissions are open. Tickets are open at the early bird prices. The rooms are available to book, and the replays are available to download. It's all guns a blazing, and there's a Facebook event set up as well.
It is firing on all cylinders.
Yeah,
Uh, the goal here, of course, is to make sure that we have our speakers selected and allowing our speakers additional time this year to further promote uh, not just the conference, but just the atmosphere
yeah.
that comes about at the conference. I mean, we are now, this is PHS. Technically, if we're looking at this, this is PHS 5,
Mm,
PHSV. Um, it's grown, it's changed, but the one thing I will say that is consistent is there is a real spirit of camaraderie amongst the people that come to the conference.
yeah, and every conference says that their conference is different. I get that, but ours is different. um,
We're
because
different for a couple of different reasons because it's
yeah,
different.
yeah, and the thing is, its main focus is on the performance side of things. So whether that be street hypnosis, stage hypnosis, comedy hypnosis, mentalism, it means all the people involved in it understand the craft of hypnosis. Um, and so it brings really interesting characters together, with the spirit of having fun with hypnosis as well. So I think that's what makes it a little bit special. And again, we are a band of people that have always been on the fringes of a lot of the hypnosis conferences as performers. They are very much geared towards techniques and hypnotherapy and that side of things. And so it's quite nice to have our own space where we can share that type of thing. And so, yeah, I think that is what makes it a genuine USP.
Yeah, it is. It is a place where we've seen relationships start, form very quickly, and then produce uh, majorly in people's lives. We've seen
Yeah,
it year over year over year,
yeah.
and that you know, oh, look at that. Speaking of guys that are up and about,
There we go. He can only type because he can't talk.
oh, and we got Nora too.
Oh, fantastic.
There we go. There's Nora. Welcome, welcome. The one thing I will say, and you mentioned it too, yes, we are different. Why are we different? Because we're very focused on a particular segment of the hypnosis population.
Yeah.
However, that said, if you are a hypnotist and you are looking at presenting at conferences and you're not sure what to do, what kind of tech you need, techniques that you could build on, how to build your stage confidence and actually own the stage, this is also a conference for you
Hmm.
because that you will learn. I think if I looked at the amount of experience that we had last year in our performers, we're probably talking about, I'm going to say, somewhere in and around 700 years of actual
Yeah.
stage experience
Wow.
when you think about it. And
And
that would
that could be
range,
so.
and that would range from, the guys that have been around for a very long time. Some of them are second generation. Some of them are, were magicians and have since switched over to hypnosis or maybe run both. You have people there that have done a lot of training. Uh, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And when you add our online presenters into that mix as well, that's a pretty significant amount of experience that you can draw from. And everything from, hey, I want to know about this microphone, to, hey, if I do this, what should I do with it, or how should I phrase it, or uh, I'm thinking about doing this skit. What do you guys think? This is a place where you can do it. Or if you are that person who is just wanting to learn how to present and own the stage, how do I command the stage the way that I should?
Yep.
Um, when I'm presenting, what am I doing now? What are my mannerisms? How can I change that so that I can be more effective?
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this, because uh, hypnotherapy conferences, you can learn about techniques and meridian lines and all of that stuff. But the best place to learn about presenting hypnosis is at PHS.
Yeah,
Speaking of hypnosis conferences, we have coming up weeks away now is Heartland Hypnosis Conference. This is always a popular one with. It is popular with stage hypnotists as well. They do have a stage track there, um, and again, a really nice niche conference. They've been going quite some time now, and William does a fantastic job on this one. It was one of my first ones coming over to speak at, and again, great atmosphere. I tell you what, they do really well at Heartland that I've not seen anywhere else. And again, it is a nod to the stage hypnotists. A lot of the hypnotherapists stay up in the bar area and wait for all the stage guys to come back in. And when they come back into the hotel, and sometimes it's like, I think I got in at 6 o'clock in the morning and they were still there. And they've got pom poms and they're all cheering and everyone is greeted coming back in. And it brought tears to my eyes. It's such a beautiful thing that they do. And that's unique to Heartland. So that's fantastic.
yeah, it's definitely one that I want to get to.
Mm,
There's so many now that I want to get to. I can't even say it's a bucket list. It's a conference list. Where
yes.
do I want to go? Where do I want to travel? Where can I present? All of those pieces. Ireland, the UK,
Yeah.
Missouri, Michigan, the Canada Hypnosis Conference. LA is now spinning up a conference. Um, there are other regional conferences and other conferences with other organizations that are showing up, whether it's online or in person.
Yes. I think somebody needs to do the Hawaii Hypnosis Conference because that just has a ring to it. The
Yeah, they
Thailand
could.
Hypnosis
Yeah,
Conference. Yeah.
yeah. The Hawaii Huna and Hypnosis Conference, Triple
Yes.
H.
Yeah. I think that would work. Detroit. Oh, I've just pressed the wrong button. There we go. The Michigan Hypnosis Conference in Detroit. Another great one. Looking forward to this one. The speaker submissions for this are, I'll not say they're this week, but it is days away to get your speaker submissions in for Michigan.
Yep, because Dan is very efficient. He's probably already spinning different scheduling scenarios. And if I know one thing about Dan, once it's done, it's
Locked.
locked. That's
It is
it.
locked.
There's no
Yeah.
two ways about it, and rightly so. I mean, you want to make sure again that your speakers have enough time to promote what they are going to be speaking on at the conference, because guess what? People attend conferences based on the speakers,
Yes.
and the topics. So again, you want to make sure you've got the best speakers. Well, then you also need to make sure that they've got the best opportunity to promote what they're talking about, which promotes your conference, which promotes everything, which makes things grow.
Yeah. I will say this about Dan, especially as Detroit. I love the area that it's based in. Always a great mix of speakers. Dan goes over and above to make you feel welcome. And the raffle prizes at this conference have to be
Swag.
the
Yep.
best raffle prizes of any hypnosis conference, and I mean any. Even the big ones don't come anywhere near the raffle prizes of this conference. There's
Dan seems
no,
to have a lot of relationships with tech companies.
yeah, I think so because it's we're talking raffle prizes have been like roadcaster soundboards, microphones, laptops, real, big ticket items that if you win it, you are over the moon to win it. There
Yep.
was some Rode microphones a couple of years ago. Dan goes over and above for raffle prizes at this conference. So yeah, in fact, last year there was an Elgato prompter, I believe. I don't know who won that, but I would say that's probably one of the most useful tools that I have in my studio at the moment. And again, somebody won that as a prize. So
So
yeah,
yeah, having a teleprompter. If you've ever done any kind of video where you've had a teleprompter, you realize very quickly that if you can get that to work with your speech flow, it's a
hmm,
very effective tool because now you don't need to worry about, you know, if I want to read something, it's going to come straight up and it's going to be on the teleprompter,
yeah.
and nobody else is going to see it, and it's going to work for exactly what I need it to.
I used to say with streaming, I think doing it off the cuff is more natural and everything else. Since using the teleprompter, I probably use it in 80% of my work now, and you can produce work so much easier because you write it, you put it on the prompter, you then deliver it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to keep starting and stopping and going back again. It's a great tool. And again, that's the thing. Dan's raffle prizes are great tools that are useful for your hypnosis business.
Yeah, I'm sure you could give away just anything, but why give away just anything when you can give away something that has some value?
Yeah, absolutely. A conference I've not been to yet, but I'm looking forward to going to is the Canadian Hypnosis Conference.
Yeah, if you're looking at your long range plans, of course, Michigan happens in September. Canada
Yep.
happens in October, and it's a great time to be in Ontario because the Greater Toronto, the GTA as we call it, the Greater Toronto area is often even up until the end of September. It can be quite hot and humid and kind of muggy and blah, blah, blah. The weather starts turning in October. So if you have a chance to come out in October, you know what? Take a couple extra days around the conference. Go out to Niagara Falls. The Canada side is, I can say this with confidence. The Canada side, A, it's bigger, and B, it's much more picturesque than the American side of the falls. Um, you can see where they filmed Superman 2.
Mhm.
There's all all kind. Oh my. Let's try that again. There's all kinds of good stuff happening there. So it's like I should take a shot of this stuff called, I don't know. It's a secret. So,
Ah, awesome.
um, but speaker submissions have been open for a while. They close on the 31st. So again, if you're looking at this from a strictly business perspective, get your speaker submission in. The trip is definitely a write off for sure. There isn't going to be a government that's going to argue because you actually delivered a talk at the particular conference. So you can write absolutely everything off, including, you know, a little bit of sightseeing and so on and so forth. There are a lot of great restaurants in the GTA. I know this firsthand because I've been there a few times back in the day when I was still in the IT world. And there are some really, because it is, one of the very first areas that was settled and so on and so forth, it was there's a lot of architecture there as well. So
Nice.
new stuff,
Nice.
old stuff. It's, if you're into that sort of sightseeing, their downtown area in Toronto is awesome for that.
Nice. Oh, excuse me. And
Yeah,
another
it's like
conference.
it's late or something over there.
I know, I know. Another conference is Hypnotic Horizons. This one is an online one. I believe James Tripp is the guy behind this phenomenal hypnotist. And so this is the 25th to the 26th of April. So it kind of coincides with Heartland a little bit. But this is looks like a great conference.
Yeah, and again online. So if online is your speed, then tune in. It's not bad to still learn online.
Hmm.
I know we kind of stretched it a bit when the pandemic was on, but you know what? We've also proved a couple things with that. One, it is possible, which is why a lot of us do a lot of our work with clients online.
Yeah.
Now it is a viable way to still connect, and when you're connecting with a group and you're connecting to learn, why not?
It's really interesting. Like the pandemic really brought on the online kind of people seeing clients online. And it's weird how some have run with that now and just see clients online, and some people very rarely see them in person. And Christina J does a whole thing where she does like a show online in Zoom,
Yep.
which looks incredible. And again, it's not a pandemic thing. It's a genuine. That's how people like to experience hypnosis now. So we are becoming a more and more online world now. So it's one of the things I like about PHS. We kind of started online and are now probably one of the only hybrid conferences. To be fair.
That's yep. So with PHS, bringing everything full circle, you would have your option of any of the rooms where the speakers are, plus an online only track. So any of those could be watched at any time. And then, of course, when you buy your ticket to PHS, you get the videos after the fact. So, again, Las Vegas 2027, join us in person, experience everything, IRL in real life.
Hmm.
And if for some reason that it doesn't work out, join us online.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah, that's it for this week, I think. Um, yeah,
Yeah, it's
we
a
might get Brian on next week, see how he's feeling.
well, we'll find out on Tuesday. Either two Saskatchewan boys are going to sit down and you're going to hear the Western Canadian accent come out, or there'll be Brian to counter it just a little bit. So
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I must admit, I've got an interesting week ahead. I'm hosting a Comic Con on Saturday at my
oh yeah,
local stadium. So we've got some. In fact, they're coming from Canada. The Power Rangers Dino Force. Um,
okay,
yeah, so they're coming over. So I'm interviewing them for that and various other Comic Con type people. And then it's so usual with my schedule. Literally, that's in the afternoon, and then I have a 5 hour drive up to Scotland for a show. So, but I couldn't turn down hosting the Comic Con thing.
oh
Um,
no. That's
exactly.
if you ever get to a Comic Con, and I haven't been to a particularly large one, but I have been, when Star Trek 6 premiered in the theaters, there were a bunch of us that we had people from Winnipeg coming in admiral's uniforms. Of course, I had my captain's uniform.
Cool.
It was a meeting of the minds when it came to Star Trek. But to go to a Comic Con and experience a wide variety of sci-fi, that's really cool. And this is the time to do it because, okay, the geek is coming out now. You have a lot of anniversaries this year. 60 years of Star Trek.
Wow.
Space 1999. I forget where they're at. It's a major anniversary for them. They're actually producing a new um, uh, retrospective, going back to Moon Base Alpha. And for anybody who doesn't know Space 1999, you better get on YouTube and watch a few episodes. In my mind, it was on par with Star Trek in terms of storylines and, what I'll say, quote unquote, believability. Um, and they probably were on the more believable side. The only thing is we still have a moon and we're past 1999.
The Times newspaper this week, I believe it was on Tuesday, um, their crossword puzzle, very cleverly, 11 across, was um, every clue, the answer as it's gone across read either Star Wars or Star Trek. And every clue that went through it could have been one or the other that created it. I'll see if I can find the thing and send it over to you. It was so clever how it was done, and
Nice.
so yeah, it was yeah. I was quite impressed by it.
Good stuff. Yeah, the Geek Squad is out there.
Yes, yes,
And what else did Jim used to call me? Geek, nerd, few other words that probably we shouldn't repeat on the live online.
possibly, possibly. Cool. All right. Well, good luck on Tuesday. I shall try and tune in for that on Tuesday. Yeah,
Yep. If you are and you want to come up, just let me know. We can get you a link and get you inside the live stream. And as always, take care, stay well, be awesome. Good night,
see you.
everybody.